Bro, just listen to me really quickly. I want to help you win. I want to help you become that young man who's about it, who's not taking no for an answer, who's disciplined, who's winning in all areas of his life. And I want you to have a brotherhood of young men supporting you. So go check out the description or message me on Instagram. We're going to talk about something in this video, bro, that isn't spoken about nearly enough. And that is that any man can go from 0 to a 10. And I'm talking about your looks, I'm talking about your value, I'm talking about who you are as a man. And I'm going to say something that's quite toxic. We earn our value as men, where women are kind of given their value. And we're talking from the lens of sexual attractiveness. And I will say, as crazy as this sounds, our peak in life actually comes later. Where, as men, we kind of age like fine wine. Because not only do we look better as we get older as men, we kind of develop, our frame, our masculinity, it kind of shines through. We grow beards, our body kind of matures. We look better as we get older, where I can't say that's kind of the same frame and trajectory for women. Because women kind of look better when they're in their prime, but their prime is from 18 to 25, 27, and that's just the world. But the truth is, a lot of us guys, we don't actually understand that our value is earned. Because, no. How can it be earned when I'm just given this body and I was born here and this is what I got and all of that? But our attractiveness doesn't always revolve around our looks. Now, it does, don't get me wrong. Looks are massively important. But that's just one facet of our attractiveness as men. So, growing up for me, I always thought that, I can't be a good-looking, handsome person because, I grew up poor. I was fat and overweight as a young boy. I'm Indian. I'm 5'8". Had all these problems growing up to where I thought, I can only be this way, this level of man. I can only get to a 1 out of 10. That's how I thought. Up until I realized as I got older, around the age of 20, that our value as men is earned. And our attractiveness is earned. Now, of course, as I just mentioned, looks play a role, but it's not everything. So I really do want you to listen to what I got to say, bro, because if you're feeling unsure of yourself, if you're not getting the attraction that you want from women, if you don't feel like, you were dealt a good cards when it comes to your looks, we're going to open this up so that you can get the kind of knowledge that I didn't have to make you realize that, I can work on other areas of my life to build up my attractiveness. So let me open it up for you like this. Any man can go from a 0 to a 10. And that is hands down any guy. Now, what do us guys look like when we're at the bottom of the totem pole? I'm going to say it for what it is. Majority of us are down here. We are. And you could probably say, nah, you're just down there. I'm better than you, Christopher. Truth is, most of us are down here because I'll say this. If you're broke, if you're, let's say you're skinny, fat, like you just don't have a good body, you're inexperienced. Let's say that your whole life is riddled with bad habits. You're just going through life and you're jerking off and you're playing video games. Let's say just you're at a place right now in your life where you're not where you want to be. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. You're just not there. I would say that in terms of attractiveness, you're at the bottom of the bottom because most men don't realize that even being average as a guy nowadays is not enough. Because women, because of social media, because of Tinder, because of just us guys being so thirsty, have more options than ever. So being average is being at the bottom. Because the divide is huge, bro. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this statistic where it's like 90% of women want the top 10% of men. So the men who have got a bit of money, who have built their bodies, who are funny, who have got some experience, who know what they want, who are strong, capable, fit, they're the guys that every girl wants. And it's crazy because you get the girls that are like ugly, you'll get the girls that are semi-good looking, you'll get the girls that are hot, all wanting those guys. So if the ugly girls want those guys, what's left for the average guys? Nothing. Or scraps. Or the girls that have been around, amongst so many other guys. So I would tell you that being at the bottom of the totem pole are these things and some. You'll just know it because you'll look at your options, you'll look at how you feel about yourself, and you'll know that, okay, I am not where I want to be. I'm probably a 2 out of 10, a 3 out of 10. I'm probably a 0 or a 4. Because what a lot of us tend to do as well, we overshoot, how we look. But average doesn't mean anything. So if you're average, you're ugly. Like, I really mean that. Like, it's savage, but it's just the truth. So how I want you to start framing it, right? If you're a man that's here, how do you get to here? Hopefully this text is better. How do you get over to here? Beautiful. Well, I will tell you that there's a few things that we all must work, and they're kind of universal attraction triggers that build you up as a man to be like, okay, well, wow, there's a bit of pizzazz in him. Look at him. Wow, like I want to get to know him. And I will tell you, as a young guy, I have been approached by women. I'm baffled by that because I'm like, wow, the first time it ever happened, I'm like, this can't be happening. Now, I've been in many relationships and I've had plenty of one-night stands and I've been around girls for a majority of my life, even though I did suffer from a lot of self-esteem issues. I fucking hated how I looked. I was putting on this fake persona. Always used to, not genuinely be about it. But I've been approached by women because of who I am, where I'm going, how I conduct myself, my frame, all of that. And I'm going to show you what I've done and what you can do. Now, I do think the most important thing, now, I am by no means also telling you that I'm a 10 out of 10 guy. By no means. But I'm telling you, we can all build ourselves to where we are at a place in our lives where we're better than fucking average. Okay? So, I think the most important thing is going to always be your body. Right? Because this is the most noticeable. A lot of people say, well, looks don't matter, looks don't matter. Well, looks as a man isn't the final straw, but it is a big thing. So I think that any man watching this, and I'm talking directly to you now, if your body isn't where you want it to be, you don't have a six-pack, you don't have a nice chest, you don't have the bicep veins coming out, you're not ripped and aesthetic, and I don't think that, us guys, we need to look big and bulky and, like that. I think a six-pack, being chiseled is the best option because I'll tell you that the only reason I started to go to the gym was to look good. And most people, they will always say, oh no, I go there for my mental health. Yeah, sure. I mean, I go there too to fight the demons, but go to the gym and work on your body, and there's nothing wrong with looking the sexiest that you can. Because there are so many traits that you build as a man in the gym, showing up, consistency, discipline, pushing yourself. It also makes you feel fucking good. Like straight out. I love to look at myself in the mirror. I love looking at myself when I got a pump. I love, when there's times that like you go to the beach and you've got the best body, or, there's very few people that look after themselves, and women look at you differently when they're with their boyfriends because it's like, wow, look at his arms. I'm telling you, this shit happens. Anyway, so your body is huge. And I want you to realize that this will be something that can add on to you 2, 3, 4 points just like that. So if let's say we're all at 0, you can go to a 3 out of 10, a 4 out of 10 guy just because of your body. Because not only will you build your body, a lot of your frame as a man will be built in the gym as well. Not your physical frame, but your mental frame. So that's very important. Second thing I do believe is confidence. Now, confidence is built from an array of things, right? You can't just tell yourself you're confident and you're going to be confident. The biggest thing for me, and I think it's a multifaceted thing that we need to realize as men where our confidence stems from, but it's about doing the shit that you know that you got to get done and building some self-respect for yourself. Because you can have a nice car but feel really insecure. You can be that guy that's on the bus and feel like a G. It all stems from in here. Now, if you can tell yourself that, okay, look, I want to build my body. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to eat clean. I want to make a bit of money. I'm going to approach every girl that I see because I'm not a bitch and I'm going to run towards my fears. I'm going to get some results in my life. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to show up. If you just get yourself to a point where you're doing what it is that you know that you need to do, you're not wasting time, you're not fapping, you're not living a shit life, confidence will come from that. And I think every man needs to have a switch inside of him that is this kind of overly kind of confident guy because it sets you apart. Now, I don't think that you ever need to be arrogant. or egotistical to where it's like, this guy's a dick. But you should feel good about yourself, and it should come off in how you speak. When you first meet, a lovely lady or a guy, it should come out like you're just genuinely confident from how you speak, how much eye contact you hold, your body language, your tone of voice, your energy levels. Everything plays a massive role. And I don't think that having genuine confidence that might be a little bit higher than, the average guy, because I told you average is bullshit anyway, is a bad thing. So build your confidence up, stick by your word, build your body, make a bit of money, run towards your fears, do what you're supposed to do, and you'll feel that oomph behind your step that makes you walk different, talk different, act different. It all synchronizes. So that's a big thing. And when you got confidence and when you can speak and when you're a bit funny and, you can tell, you can speak well, your attraction it goes up. It just because it's what women want. We are social creatures as it is, and communicating is a huge thing. And I'm not talking about communicating on the personal things, but just being open and with good energy, high energy, not all the time where you're like you're a kid on, red cordial. But it's a very important thing. So dialing in on this will take you so much further. Like I'm talking just your body, your confidence, how you conduct yourself. It will just boost you up in your attractiveness as a man. So that's a big thing, bro. And if you're not very confident, let's say your social skills are a bit out of whack, easy. Go be more social. Go get the reps in. And you'll see that your social anxiety or your social awkwardness, the more you do, the less it'll affect you. That's all I can say. So with that, I've kind of touched on this, is money. But similar to your body, and I like to align it. Look, we want money so we can have the nice car, we can have the nice clothes, we can have, the ability to pay for dates and to take a girl out and all this stuff. But it's actually the journey of money that builds your attraction. Now, if you got money, I don't think that that's the be all and end all for getting girls. I don't think so. Like, if you think that you're just going to get rich from a crypto pump and dump and then you'll get all the honeys in the world, it won't happen. Because you won't have that confidence behind your step. You won't be funny. Your body won't be built. Your mind's going to be all frazzled and weak and you'll be a bit of a wimp. Now, are there some guys that can get rich and learn those skills? Sure. But a lot of the skills, when you're coming up and you're a nobody and then you're getting the money and all of that and you're building every area, it's a different kind of, how do I frame it? It's just different. It's like you've earned it for real. And when you have all this money, then you go out and get it. It's just different. It's like less. So money's huge, but making money from a business or scaling yourself up in your company that you're working for or something, if that's what you want to go for, is great. And I think that that's how you got to go about it. I think you got to make a lot of money, but the journey to get that money, it actually builds your frame as a man. Because when you start a business or you're trying to move up the corporate ladder, what happens when you do that? You're in competition with other men. When you're starting your own business, you've got all this pressure to succeed and things are going wrong and you're trying to figure it out. Well, you know what happens as a byproduct of you trying to make money? You learn how to problem solve. You learn how to figure shit out. You learn how to handle pressure, handle stress. So those things attribute to your frame as a man, where it's like, okay, well, come on, I made this $1,000. I made this $10,000. I made this $100,000. I'm the man. And that boosts your confidence when you get some results in finances. So I think that money plays a massive role. It also, is good to signal to women that you can protect, provide, that you can offer experiences, that you're not a fucking cheapskate. It's huge. So make money and make a lot of it, but try to do it the right way through, building yourself up. And look, if you can get rich quick, do it. And I wish all the best of luck to you. But I think that having a focus on it and then going after it the right way, it'll build your character up the most. And this is the way that most of us have to do it as well. Like, only so few of us will get genuinely rich from the lotto or crypto or whatever, stocks. So this is huge. But then with that, I believe that a big thing is also influence. Now, I'm not saying influence in a sense of being a social media personality or an influencer, or unless that's your kind of thing. And I will say, some status linked to influence through social media and online presence, it's actually a big deal. Like, it allows your inbox to be, your DM that you send a girl to be open because you got 10k followers or 100k followers or whatever. So that kind of happens if you're messaging a girl on Instagram or something, or they get to know you, or you're really someone, and it's like, oh wow, like you're kind of famous or something. That's huge, but most people won't get to that point. But influence in a sense of, well, you're a leader. That other men listen to your voice, whether that's in your workplace, whether that's online, whether that's at school or university. If you can have that influence behind your words and people look at you like, okay, well, I'm going to follow what he says, or he knows something that I don't know, if you're a manager or you're a boss or something. Influence is huge because it really hones in on your leadership skills as a man. And I do believe a lot of what we want to have as men is respect, power, and influence. That's some of the most powerful traits a man has. When you think of a man who's built himself, you think of a powerful, influential man, don't you? So I want you to try and do what you can in university, in school, online, to build some influence to where you're helping others, you're speaking and people are listening, whether that's, you're a boss or you're doing it online or something. But build yourself up in a sense to where not only does that, give you some confidence and self-esteem, your traits as a man, it signals to women. Like, I can't explain it other than like, it's in your step, it's in your speech, it's in your aura, it's in your frame. When these things start like compounding, right? You start building your body, you start getting more confident, you make some money, that comes out, you're influential, you got a bit of status behind you. I do believe this is huge for us men. But then with that, there's so many other like little nooks and crannies, bro. Like, you need to dress well. As I mentioned before, you need to talk. You need to have skills. You need to be capable. You gotta be fucking strong. And I don't mean strong in a sense of like your body, because that's one thing. But I mean strong mentally. I mean, like, you can't be that guy that can't problem solve. You can't be him that crumbles under pressure. You can't be that guy where you're the woman in the relationship. You cannot be that. And as men, right, what I want you to understand is that with your body, with the confidence, with the money, with the influence, with the social skills, with being capable and strong, everything synchronizes into your frame. It's like a spiral of like energy, and it'll change the game for how attractive you are. As I said right at the start, I've been cold approached by girls, like girls that I didn't know. Like, I've had girls come to me for my number, like some pretty baddies as well. I'm like, wow. And I never got feedback on like why they approached me, but because, I just, well, a couple of them, there was a few things that happened, but majority of it was these girls came up to me, they really liked me, they tried to get my number, I said yes to some, no to the other, but it was because I know who I am. I know how I act, I know how I speak, I know how I walk, I know what I do, and everything compounds and synchronizes so that it expels to the world. It expels to other men. They look at you like, yeah, there's something different about his step. Women look at you like fuck, like he's a good looking bloke and he holds himself well. It signals. I can't explain it any more than that. But what I want to reference in this is that all of this takes time, right? Now, as men, our prime is in our late 20s, early 30s. Like, that's our peak. That's when it actually starts, and we age like fine wine. Where women, because what we're talking about is what we're kind of valued on for our looks and our place in society, women are valued on their beauty, on their innocence, on their purity. Us men, we're valued on who we are, what we know, what we can do, all of what we spoke about. But what happens is that takes time. So when a woman's in her prime, from the age of like 18 to 25, 27, we're just entering our primes as they exit. So if you're worried that like you're 20 years old, you're 25 years old, you're 30 even, you're 40, and it's like, I haven't built myself, I haven't got the opportunity to, kind of go out and explore and be me. Well, it takes time. Now, the older you get, the more harder you and quicker and more urgent you better work. But as a man, your prime happens when you put in that work, and all of this, I promise you, builds you up to a 10 out of 10 man. Worst comes to worst, you're a 9 or an 8 or a 7. but you can build your attractiveness. And if you look at anyone that's made it, right? Any CEO, any athlete, any even influencer that you see, majority of them are ugly, but they've got most of these attributes and everything else that we spoke about. Like, look at a rapper. Like, half of them are fucking ugly, but they got money, they got status, they've got, they're musicians, so like they're celebrities. And I'm not saying that all of us need to be that way. You look at influencers online, they're just goofy guys, but they've got that influence. Or you look at guys who are just confident, got great bodies, and are good with women, and they get it because they've got these attributes. So you can work on all of these things, and you will see the dynamic and the paradigm shift inside of you. I really mean that, brother. So any man can go from a 0 to a 10, and this is how you do it, bro. If you want to do coaching with me and I will help you start to get the wheels turning, I will coach you. Go to the link in the description or message me on Instagram. Or if you want to join a group of young men all on self-improvement, all trying to do this, then again, Instagram. Go to the link in the description and we will help you, or I will help you one-on-one. I love you, brother. You can do it. I promise you, you can.